Hi there folks, today I'm going to be covering a game that has just been released on Steam for $15 that has already captured the hearts of many players, the Witcher return to the Battlefield experiences of old. If you were a fan of Battlefield 2, 3 and 4, this is a game you'll want to know about. This is Battlebit. So, first things first, what actually is Battlebit? As you've seen from the footage so far, it looks quite a bit different in appearance to your average shooter, certainly from Battlefield, so you might be thinking it's a kid's game at a glance, but it's much more than that. Battlebit is an entirely multiplayer game focused on massive combined arms combat, with up to a whopping 254 players in a single battle. You can expect tanks, light armored vehicles, helicopters, and even amphibious vehicles supporting huge infantry clashes across a near fully destructible environment. It's being touted by many as what the newest Battlefield should have been, a feature-rich, progression-driven game with a representation of massive battles that encourage teamwork and still give place to individual ability. With the game's simplistic, low-poly graphic style choice, it runs like a dream on pretty much any system and makes it accessible to almost anyone when you combine it with the low price point, which I suppose is a good idea when you're having as many players on a single server as Battlebit is. Oh, and Battlebit requires just 2.1 gigabytes of space. It downloads at just over 400 megabytes, unpacking to just over 2 gigs, which is thanks to the graphic style. Now, if you're still feeling burned by the poor release of Battlefield 2042, which stepped away from many of the series' known and loved features like structured classes or roles and meaningful progression systems, you might be skeptical of a game like Battlebit, and I absolutely couldn't blame you. But the truth is, the developer of Battlebit has definitely learned from the shoddy release practices of some modern AAA development studios and has stuck to what players love. There is an absolute plethora of weaponry, with certain classes having access to weapons others don't have, each one with plenty of unlocks that can be only obtained using that weapon. So you've got 6 classes to level independently, each with their own weapons and their own attachments for those weapons, which is enough to keep you busy for, well, a long time. Now, going back to bad releases for a moment, we've all seen games in recent years that have released in an incomplete state or only have something like 5 maps to play on, but Battlebit certainly isn't one of those. There are over 15 maps available, 39 weapons, 6 classes, and 8 game modes available from day one. There's more on the way after the release, and on top of all that, it implements all the features I'd expect from a modern shooter, and to be honest, a lot of them that I'd only expect from tactical shooters like Ready or Not or Ground Branch, but they're a welcome surprise all the same. Things like magazine checking, independent head turning from the character's body, repacking half-used magazines, and much more. I mean, you can even rappel from a helicopter, which is just crazy fun and makes for some awesome inserts on top of buildings. I think it's a fair statement to make that this game has succeeded in many places where AAA studios have failed, and this is a very good example of why that is. I do just want to take a moment to ground myself though, because yes, I realize I'm practically gushing over this new game as if it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's genuinely difficult to find negative things to say about Battlebit. There's so many positives and so little bad about it. That said, obviously if you're looking for a realistic experience, the graphic style of Battlebit doesn't lend itself to that, and those of you with top-end graphics cards aren't exactly going to be stunned by next generation visuals. But as I've mentioned already, the flip side of that is that it's accessible to pretty much anyone. Assuming you're on PC, because I don't believe the game is available on consoles right now, and I'm not sure they have any plans to go that way either. In that respect, I guess we'll have to see what the future holds. Pretty much the final thing I've been able to identify that I'd like to see improved is the quality of the VoIP in-game. In terms of functionality, there's no real issues with the VoIP. It works, and there's a bunch of settings that you can mess around with if you want to turn, let's say, hearing your enemy's VoIP off. But in terms of sound quality, it's definitely not winning any awards right now. So yeah, I'd like to see that improved for sure, but across 3 playtests and the first day of release, this is about all I've been able able to say about the negatives of this game. So I figured to round this video off, I'd take some of the best moments from the first day of the release and pop them in at the end of this one for you folks to get a feel for the game and ultimately decide for yourself if you think it might be worth a go. Now this footage is taken from a few different matches on different game modes and different maps, so you can see a good bit of variety in here. Lastly, if you decide to go ahead and pick up the game, I'll actually be doing a couple of streams on the 18th and the 19th of June where you'll be able to grab some in-game cosmetics through the Twitch drop system if you want to pick up some exclusive goodies. If you're interested, you can check the various time zones on screen now so you can tune in with plenty of time to get all your drops. Hopefully, I'll see some of you then, and if not, I hope you enjoy the video regardless. Enjoy the gameplay, and I will see you all in the next one. Oh, grenade! I've one back. Blech. Oh, that's a lot of sniper scopes. Oh! Yay! Okay, he did get killed there. Dump this mag. It's empty anyway. Okay, I'm gonna repack some mags here. Parkouring out here.
I got you.
Get up, boy. Oh man, really? He gave up. Or bled out. Oh, just clipped me as I was running around the corner. I'm gonna stop here and put a rally down. There's a tank down there. There's a tank in the B point. Come on, reload. On that second one, get a good sight line. There we go. It's good. I just got leveled by the tank. I will say I have enjoyed the vehicle combat and it's so much fun. Enemy Humvee just up front. Oh my god, how did that not hit him? I think I was cheated out of that one. That was the guy that was very excited about seeing us last game. I've just sniped him in the back of the head.
Easy punch. No.
Still a guy here somewhere. My god. I can't get a single kill in this game, apparently. I'm just being a bullet sponge right now. Maybe we'll go medic and just actually be useful in a different way. My god. We're not winning. No, definitely not winning right now. Our squad has 5 medics. I feel like we have enough of those.
Wally.
I'm just useless. Ah, there's another one up the hill.
Well, he just capped A.
I just killed Count Duckula. Unlucky.
How dare you? There's an enemy rally in here. Okay, got the rally in this building.
He's done, he's done.
We're on cap again. I think they're in this building. Yep. Oh my god. That was 3? 3 kills. 4. Ah. God damn it. Don't let the looks deceive you. It's, honestly, it's fantastic. It's such a well put together game. Such a well put together game. Let's go to the bridge. Sold all my CS cases to buy this. Worth it? Hell yeah. If you see them in a building, guys, just give me a ping on which building they're in, and I'll start lining up with the LAV.
Copy.
I think most of them are behind us now. That's big.
What? How? He's got an engineer tool. Appreciate it.
Nope, on the way. Right behind you. You're a full health pig.
Oh shit, okay. Just one that guy hit me with the RPG, but I guess not.
I can flip around.
Fuck that thing on the middle building.
Window on the right, or building on the right. Yep.
GG!